So if you have any type of access to social media, you probably already know where I'm going with this, right? So there was an interaction between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Now, I'm not here to debate who was right, who was wrong, how they should have responded, what they should have did, because the truth is, we don't know what anybody would do when they under pressure. That's a Bobby Womack off 110th Street. But anyway, back to the lecture at hand. So now if you watch that whole 1 minute and, I think it was about 40 something seconds or whatever exchange between Chris Rock and Will Smith, you'll see every single SEL skill at play and ready and just pretty much up for grabs to be honed. So you've seen self-awareness at play, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision-making. You see all 5 of these skills at play, right? And so you might say, okay, well, how is self-awareness? Doesn't Will know himself, better than that? It had nothing to do with whether he knew himself better than that. It had to do with understanding how he was thinking about himself and who he was at that time in that specific moment, right? You're talking about a man who's sitting there with his wife and somebody makes a joke about them in front of his peers. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot that he had to process at that moment. And when we move on to, okay, now where's the self-management piece? Well, that was just simply him managing his emotions and his thoughts effectively during the moment. So we don't know what type of stresses he may have been coping with or challenges, because even when he won the award, he was, emotional. You could tell there was some things going on because he talked about how, he felt he was called to love and to protect, right? So this is beyond just the fact of, this small interaction we seen. And then you got social awareness, right? So his peers, people he's done movies with, people he probably, may be friends with, you got to realize that this also can influence how you respond to certain things. So that's the whole social awareness piece. Now, the relationship skills, how did he try to really communicate, clearly or effectively, during that interaction? I mean, he tried to communicate, but was it really as effective as it should have been? No, not necessarily. But again, that skill talks about how you can resolve conflict and disagreements, when you don't see eye to eye about stuff. And then responsible decision making, right? So was it responsible of him to do what he did and act how he acted, in the moment, right? Again, we are not here to judge, but we don't know what people would do under pressure.